Hello, good afternoon. It's a glorious Friday, and I want to welcome you all to Awareness Moments with Kyra. It's 12:12, and a wonderful time for us to gather our energies, gather our unified field of consciousness together, to open our heart, mind, and being as we share together this non-space and time. Welcome Mary Helen Merzbacher and all of those, Mike Brentari and others that are joining us. I'm so grateful to have each of you here with us today and to share in this experience of life. Welcome, Julie Fields. Glad you're with us. And in this journey, a part of what we're doing at this time is really understanding how to live in awareness. Welcome, Ruthie Freeman. Glad you've joined us. George Pwasnik, and love you all so much. And as we are in this process of acknowledging we're opening to a deeper awareness, we are evolving into our true essence and bringing that forth, we also get to honor where are we in the human journey. You know, we don't deny our humanity. We actually bring our divinity into and through our humanity. So many times we went outside of ourselves to go and find that spiritual self. But really, this is about an embodied experience here. How do I embody that and live from within that? And that means honoring the divinity and the humanity and the place that I am the link. I am the link in that flow of energy, in the infinity that I am, or the torus field that I am. And that my opening my heart and my being and understanding what are the needs of the human self and how those get honored and celebrated while knowing I'm operating from a greater awareness is really important in this journey. And so I want to talk about some of the human needs. I want to just say welcome Jen Nelson and Carolyn Holmes-Lenaway and E. Lopez Lockhart. Great to have you all join us. So there's a teaching that when I went to India and in working with the oneness community was studying, and it actually I think came from Tony Robbins, that talks about the 6 human needs that we have. And when we understand these, we can notice what is it that's really calling our ego gets engaged in when we know these are the needs we have as a human being. Now, we know at the level of the infinite, the level of the divine, all things are already complete, are already whole. We're already fulfilled in all of these. But at this level, we don't always experience it that way. We're still buying into separation and idea that there are needs to be fulfilled. So I want to say these 6 categories are so powerful to be aware of. So the first one is that we have a need for certainty, for a certain level of certainty in things, to bring us a sense of security and safety at a human level. Well, we recognize that that's a challenge for us right now. In our world, there's not any certainty. So we start searching for things to cling to, beliefs or ideas or ways of being or structures in our lives to give us that sense of certainty in certain things. And yet, to know that we're leaning into the mystery at the same time is where we hold the paradox of these. Now, it's interesting because along with our need for certainty, welcome Robin K. Reeves and Bonnie Pena and Misty Fain. So great to have you all here. And so along with the desire, the need for us as a human self to experience a level of certainty, so we're finding ways to do that, I would invite us to know that the certainty comes from our certainty in our spiritual essence, the certainty in our living from that divine essence. So then we get that certainty because we don't get that in the world. But our human keeps looking for that, keeps wanting to find a way to get to a level of certainty. Now, along with that, we have a need in the human self for variety. So I love this paradox that we want certainty and variety at the same time. Well, interestingly, during this time, when we're in these challenges that we're facing, we're not feeling a lot of certainty, but we're also not getting to experience the variety that we're used to. Welcome, Mike Lejeune. Great to see you here. And so in this process, we're recognizing there's a couple of needs that are both kind of off kilter or not feeling fulfilled in our human self. And it's only through our recognition that through the divine, through our imagination, we get lots of diversity or variety, through our experience of how we choose to see and experience the world and open in wonder and awe to what is happening in the evolution of consciousness. That gives us the sense of variety while we hold the certainty that the divine is working us. We need to find ways to answer these needs for the human aspect of ourselves so we settle and can feel in a calm and aware space to operate from that deeper wordlessness or opening or expansiveness of our being. So the third need that we all have, hi Domingo de Parra, great to see you here as well. That the next thing is that we all seek significance. We have a sense of, we need to know that we matter, what we've learned, unfortunately, at the human level is we've learned that we matter because of what we do. Now, I'm not saying what we do doesn't make a difference. It does. But when we can understand our inherent value, that at the true spiritual level, that our significance is in our being. The fact that we are a being that is here expressing and being a presence for light and love, or however that may be. Maybe we're a presence for frustration and anger in a moment, but we're a presence, we're a life, we have an essence, and that has inherent value in it. So when we begin to know that our significance cannot be given to us from out here, we can love the achievements and the accolades and the different experiences, but they don't satisfy us at the level of the soul. So we recognize the human self wants all that. And we only get the satisfaction, the sense of fulfillment, when we really come into this greater essence and awareness. Now, the fourth of these six, my niece Amber Lonsdale, brilliant being that she is on with us, and welcome Marilyn Huggins. Great to have you here as well. Is that the fourth of these six attributes that the self or the human aspect feels that it needs is to love and to be loved. We all have a need to love and be loved. I remember when I was looking into going into ministry, and somebody said, well, why is that? What is it that you're up to that's calling? I said, I don't even know if that's it. What I know is there's this flow of love in me that must be expressed. And I want to find the best way to bring it out into the world, to allow it. So when I know I am that love, I already feel loved. And I know that I am giving love by who I'm being and how I'm expressing. And so what happens is both we're satisfying, opening to our spiritual awareness and satisfying the human need at the same time. So in review, we have the need for certainty, the need for variety, the need for significance, and the need to love and be loved. Now, the last two actually come when we feel fulfilled in these first ones. Not to say they don't come along the way, but they are really ones that are really when we're opening to our true spiritual essence, because the fifth one is growth. We all have a need, literally a need to grow, to feel and know that we are growing in some way. Now, some are more conscious of that need within themselves, that part of themselves that wants to experience the growth within them, to see new things, to experience a greater awareness, to grow their consciousness. When we understand our real growth is in our consciousness and our coming into a greater awareness of how the universe operates, then we are constantly growing in every experience of life. We begin to experience that life is informing us and showing us how we are growing, in awakening our awareness and knowing ourselves more, in teaching us by the ways that we learn the flow of the universe and the flow of nature, for example, would be ways that we're continually growing. Welcome Allison Tanner and Don Hefferman. Get that part. Don Davis. And in that process, we are all fulfilling these needs. But as we access our spiritual essence, then we grow in quantum ways. We grow in ways that are exponential to our growth in our human understanding, because we're bringing a spiritual awareness in, and it will inform us in ways that we had not previously anticipated. And our growth will be exponential. I think we're in an exponential growth right now in this time of the shifting and evolution on our planet. And so the last of the 6 needs is for contribution, for us to make a contribution. Now, a part of this is, again, knowing that where we make a contribution above all is in our spiritual essence, in the energy imprint that we hold, in the way that we carry that vibrational frequency and allow that to move through and express through us. So when we start to spiritually awaken and we honor each of these needs at a human level, we bring a spiritual awareness into them. And they begin to move, because we know we can make contributions in the world. And I know all of you have done that in who you are and the ways that you've given into the world. But the real soul satisfaction, the real place of fulfilling a greater consciousness, is through how we're contributing to the consciousness that we carry, through the vibration and frequency of love and light and beingness and joy and whatever your imprint is. If it's yours to be in discovery or to be a deep researcher, whatever way you do that is your way of doing. But to know that the beingness of you is what carries that frequency of contribution. You are a contribution to the world by your very presence. When you love on your children and your grandchildren, when you share an opportunity to be with a friend and reflect the truth of who they are, or just be present with them in this moment, in this time. These are ways that we are always contributing by our being. So what I invite you to know, that notice what need is calling you to express or wanting, or if you feel unsettled in yourself, are one of these 6 needs something that is wanting to be experienced? If I'm needing that certainty, do I go back into that certainty within myself? If I'm wanting variety, how do I experience and allow the variety through the consciousness of my mind, through the imagination, through the willingness to, explore an inner realm? How do I experience my significance, that I am significant by my being, and that I am experiencing love? And I'm here to love and be loved, and I do have that. I have that inside myself. I have it in my own being, so I can't be separate from it. When I know that, then I can feel fulfilled at that human level and devote myself to the levels of growth that want to come through, to the contribution that I want to make into the world by who I am being and what I'm doing. What I know is each one of us have tremendous gifts to give, and I see us all satisfying that human need so that we are aligned in this eternal loop, or this torus field of constantly flowing energy in and through us in the infinite and in the finite, that we are bringing the human and the divine together and exploding that light into the world in powerful and wonderful ways, because we're unified in ourselves. And we're not struggling against some need that we've been in denial about. We recognize it, but we give it its true power from our inner being. I am so grateful to be in the midst of those that truly live that light, that freedom. That's what we want, is the freedom of our soul, and to live that in joy every single moment and every single day. or in the depth of whatever experience we're having, to be fully present with awareness. So I honor you because I know who you are, and I am grateful for you. And I see you fulfilling every need within yourself so that you fulfill the greater purpose of your presence here on this world. Thank you. Have a blessed, blessed day, friends. And I'll see you tomorrow. If it'll let me go. I don't know. I can't get the finish to work.